So I want to ask you this question. Do you ever feel lost? It's a word I was thinking about, and it comes up. And actually is not something common when you think of wanting to lose weight, wanting to get back in shape. And, it's like one thing about confused, maybe disappointed, aggravated, frustrated, scared. Lots of words describing, right? Lots of adjectives describing, but lost. I'm lost. And I wanted to share with you on today's daily dose is that I know there's a lot of people lost. And I say, think about when you're lost. And if you're wondering what that picture was, actually, I went surfing yesterday. This is one of my surfboards. My son came home and I saw that word, and it's the brand of surfboard. And that's not, let's go here. And it's the brand of surfboard that I actually happen to ride. And it's called Lost. And also the mayhem is it. And those two words you think of, now, mind you, it's a surfboard company, but those two words, as I'm going out yesterday on my birthday to go surf, and I got some waves, it was such a beautiful day, and I was thinking to myself, like, mayhem and lost. And gosh, that really kind of describes a lot of people that come into my world, into my space as an online coach. If you didn't know, if you haven't followed me before, I am an online fitness coach, and I help moms and dads over 40, and I help a lot of people who are lost and are in a point where there's a lot of mayhem. So I say the mayhem typically is surrounded by busyness and overfilled schedules and, running kids here and there and sports and trying to deal with the world stuff going on and the stress of everything. And maybe your work is all over in a different kind of environment right now. And I know there feels like a bit of mayhem, right? Doesn't 2020 feel like a bit of mayhem? But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about lost. And I don't know if you've ever been lost before. I have, not like when I was a kid and my parents left me in a grocery store or something like that. But I have been lost. And I know today, thankfully, with technology and things, when you're driving, you have your phone, you can kind of get to where you need to go. And there's navigation, GPS, right? Things like that. That can give you the roadmap, right, if you will. We used to have to, I remember as a kid growing up, is we would have the map out, and when we go, and we didn't really travel a lot, but we'd travel from New York to Pennsylvania to see family. My dad would map out, right? Do you remember this back in the day? Back in the day when you used to have to highlight and take the routes, and you didn't know what was going to be busy or if there was going to be accidents, right? We had no clue. Thankfully, we have technology now. Well, the point is that what do? You look at where you need to go. You map it out, like GPS. You plug in the destination you're going, and you have to put in the destination of where you want to go, and then it gives you the roadmap of how to get there. And typically, I would say for the most part, you don't get lost. Now, I know even sometimes GPS messes up, but the reality is when you have the right GPS, when you have the right directions, go here, turn on this highway, go here, you want to avoid tolls, go this way. Oh, now we have GPS that tells us how much traffic, how long it's going to take you to get there. It's very, very detailed. And guess what? It hasn't really steered me wrong. I've taken that. So how does that relate to the person who's maybe lost in their weight loss efforts? Well, here's the thing. The problem really exists why a lot of people are lost. Let me show you this. This again, it's just the label lost. Feeling lost. It's bright and it's bold, right? It's lost. You get lost. And I feel like the problem isn't so much that we don't have the information or the tools or the directions, is that there's so many options. When you put in GPS to the location and it gives you 2 or 3, you can go this way and avoid tolls, you can go that way, or you can go the local route and you can go that way. And it's give or take a few minutes to get here. When I was traveling down to my parents last weekend, I remember it showed me 3 different ways. And I think I've gone one way one time and it was way different and it was not actually fun, but it still got me there. And I would say for you, the problem is if you're struggling with how to get back in shape, if you're struggling with the mayhem of the world, the mayhem of business, the mayhem of life, is not knowing what road to take, what direction to take, right? Because you've taken some directions, you've taken some roadmaps, you've taken some advice in GPS. There's so many different ways. And maybe you even got to that destination and realized that, it wasn't all that awesome. I got that weight off quick, but guess what? Now I'm starving myself and I want carbs so bad and I want to have a glass of wine and none of that's allowed on my diet. I'm only allowed to have this many points and this, and I have to calculate that and I get confused and I just want to give up. I want to give up hope. And lost, oftentimes you can just give up. And, maybe it's turning back around and going back to where you came from. So as I share this with you this morning, is if you're lost. Now, if you're not lost, if you're on a really healthy path, if you're in the direction, you have the roadmap and you're following it and you're like, oh, good, this is the next, oh, look, I got to this road and here it's going to take me there. But if you're kind of stuck in the period of being lost, and I'm not saying stuck like not starting, maybe you've started a lot of programs, maybe you've worked with a trainer, maybe you've had diets, you've tried all those, but you end up stopping for whatever reason, maybe because you realize it wasn't a solution, like it wasn't getting you to the ultimate destination. And to me, what the ultimate destination for all of us is an ongoing destination. It's an ongoing pursuit to living your healthiest and best life. And that's what I want for you. So if you're, say, over 40, even if you're creeping up on 40, and you're saying, you know what, I don't want to be in my later 40s and feel like I'm in my later 50s or 60s. I don't want to be 30 pounds overweight like I see some of my older friends who didn't take care of themselves, or I see some of my friends who are in their 30s now who don't take care of themselves. Guess what? It isn't going away if it's not addressed. Your body still can feel lost if it doesn't feel healthy, right? Like that's what happens. Our body starts to feel lost, and then you feel lost, or your mindset starts to feel lost, and then you just want to give up. And then there's more mayhem, right? Because then the regular stress in the world is still there. And then your body can't handle the stress. Your mind can't handle the stress because it's trying to balance the stress of life, the stress of the world, the stress of politics, the stress of your workplace, the stress of your kids out of school, the stress of having to wear a mask everywhere, the stress. There's a lot of mayhem. And that's just outside of yourself, let alone having to take care of yourself. And you're feeling lost. And there's nothing worse than feeling lost, right? So I would love to help navigate you on the right path. And I'm not saying that my path is the only path, but I do know for some of you who have been maybe sitting on the fence, or maybe just sitting in this kind of period of being lost. Maybe you're in your own saboteur, if you will, and you're sabotaging your efforts. You didn't get to your destination, or you did, and you realize, oh, it's just another quick fix. I did it again. How many times you can say that to yourself? You know what? I allowed myself to take the quick and easy route, and I ended up right back where I was, worse off than before, and now I feel terrible about myself. And I don't want that to be for you, because what happens? You end up back in mayhem, right? You end up back where you're lost again. And I don't want you to be lost. Again, there's nothing worse than the feeling of being lost. I want you to find the right direction, find the right route. And maybe that requires you actually getting professional help. You see, the reality is there's people like me. See, I would say is I'm a very, very, I would say one of the highest advocates there ever is when it comes to coaching and mentors. Why? Because I have more than one. I have actually 3. You're like, huh? What? For what? Well, I have a business coach. In fact, today, in the next 3 days, we have an intensive mastermind. And now we can't travel because people travel all over the world. And right now, because it's what's going on in the world, we're doing virtually. So thankfully for technology. So I have a business coach. Check this one out. I have a fitness coach. I'm not embarrassed about it. In fact, I went to the gym this morning because I knew I'd be online and we're going to be in conference all day long today. And I knew I needed to get my workout in. But you know why I needed it? Because I have a coach that actually is putting me on the right path. He's helped me. Yes, I have a fitness coach because it's so important. And the reason why is because I've found the value of having a fitness coach. Yes, even the fitness coach. I help people all day long with their health and fitness journey and their fitness path. Sometimes I forget, and sometimes it's hard. And I realize having a coach in my corner is so super, super valuable. So I don't get lost on my own fitness journey. How good would it for me to be lost on my fitness journey and I'm trying to put people on a healthy fitness journey, right? Does that not make sense? So again, the coach talking about coaching. And in a spiritual sense, I have a band of brothers that I connect with on a weekly basis. I have a spiritual mentor who helps me. Again, a lot of people. Surround yourself with people who are going to build you up. And the chances of you getting lost, right? If you go in the woods and you get lost, or you say you get on the road, chances are somebody will have their phone out. Even if you can't look at your phone and drive, you be the driver, right? You're driving, and you might have somebody else look up the directions and help you. Somebody that knows where you need to go and how to get there. And that's what I'm telling you, the value of coaching, mentorship, and the difference between a coach. Now, you don't just want a coach who calls himself a coach, because there's lots of coaches out there, I can tell you, that say they're a coach and they can help you and their bodies look good, but they don't have the experience. They never walk the walk. They They didn't travel down the road with many people. They haven't had the success of a true mentor. The difference between a mentor and a coach is a mentor actually has walked the walk, has years of experience, has a proven track record, right? There's not just, oh, that coach has a great body, let me work out with them. Well, they might just be naturally gifted, and maybe they can do 3 sit-ups and 4 push-ups, and they have a rock hard body. Chances are you're not that person if you're listening to this message right now, and it's probably the coach you don't need in your life, because you're going to always feel inferior versus a coach and a mentor who's gone through it, who's in his season of life. Listen, I just hit 48 yesterday. I feel great. It's not to brag. It's just that I've been pursuing. I have not been lost on my health and fitness journey. I've been on a good pursuit. It's not the best, but it's a better pursuit than actually being lost. So for you, if you're lost, right? If you're lost, if your life is mayhem, this is my surfboard now, but if there's mayhem in your life, let me just share this with you. You can continue 2 directions. You can continue being lost. You can continue to have a life filled with mayhem, and there might still be other things that are going to be lost. You may still have other issues going on, but you can take care of you, and you can have somebody that can come alongside you and help you on that journey. So listen, if you want help, if you're serious, now if you're not serious, please don't reach out to me. I'm not messing around with people. Like 2020 for a lot of people sucked, but I know for a lot of my coaching clients that have come into my program, it's been an amazing year. They've been able to adapt and shift and adjust, and they're not lost in their fitness journey. And if you don't want to be lost, I would suggest you do 1 of 2 things. Is find yourself a coach, right? And you can reach out to me. We can see if we're a good fit. Or you can just give up. I mean, there's really your choice. Just give up. Just stop. If you haven't tried, just continue not trying and see how much more lost you get in the next 5 or 10 years. But I don't want that for you. I don't want there to be any more mayhem, and I want you to continue being lost. Do yourself a favor. Get some help. The value of coaching and mentorship. You're going to see success from people that are going to be near you, and chances are they're not doing it by themselves. They're not doing it alone. They're looking up to the best of the best, the people that have been there in the trenches doing it before, and I would suggest you do the same. It's just being a good consumer, that's all. So anyway, take care. Have a beautiful, blessed Thursday. Thursday it is. Take care. Happy spring. Winter, spring? No, happy fall. Take care and God bless.